Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle back again. Every now and then I get handled a reel that doesn't work, and this one certainly doesn't work, and with the instructions to see what you can do about it. So we'll see what we can do about it. Interestingly enough, this is a Garcia reel, so it's after the Garcia Mitchell. It's just a Garcia. It's a 9000 advertised with ball bearings, and it's frozen. I can't turn the rotor. I can't turn the handle. We'll take it apart and see what we can do about that. So the first thing is to remove the handle and the side plate to get a look on the inside. And this handle has a through post, which is held together by a screw on the opposite side. So I remove that little cap, and then I can remove the screw, and that can pull the handle out. Screws and the handles are either screw type handle or they are through type handles. In this case it's a through type handle. You'll know if you're trying to unscrew the handle when you see that small cap. Unscrew the handle, and if you're meeting resistance, it's not moving. Check the other side before you go applying any kind of crazy torque to it. Otherwise you'll break that handle off or break the main gear or something else. Okay, with that off, there's appears to be 3 side screws and what I call a half side plate, which means we do not have to remove the rotor in order to get the side plate off and find out what's going on in the gears. So we'll go do that now. These screws seem to have a lot of corrosion on them, salt or something, so my guess is this one's probably been in a shed for quite some time. Fella said that it had some sentimental value to him. That's the only reason he passed it on to me and asked me to see what I could do about it. It's almost the same size, just a little bit bigger maybe than the Mitchell 300. It says it's got capacity for 220 yards of 10-pound line, so that's pretty good. And we can see from the inside this reel's been totally neglected as I pull that spool off. That spool's got a little button, just like the Mitchells do, to remove it from the shaft. But we can clearly see that there's been nothing good about this reel. And looking at the internals here, that's just a lot of dirt. So maybe this thing even wound up in the mud or something on the riverbank. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But again, we're going to go see what we can do about it. This should, if you can take those 3 screws out, we can tell that we're just totally shot here in terms of the corrosion on the inside of this one. We're going to see if we can save it. It looks like there's just a lot of gunk and goop and the like. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get this through shaft out. I think that's probably where the problem is going to be right now. I think that through shaft is going to be stuck and probably difficult to get out at this point. Let's see if we can push up on that first. There we go. We can actually move this thing, and we can take that through shaft out with a little bit of help. I don't have the hand strength I had at one point in life, so I'm going to grab a pliers here and hook it around those 2 posts for the spool and pull. There you go. And we're starting to see that, yeah, things can move. I'm going to grab a, looks like a 10 or an 11 millimeter right now. See if we can't get that off. No, it's not the 10, it might be the 12. There you go, it's a 12 millimeter. And I'm going to have to step away at the moment and grab a the 12 millimeter ratchet, because this is just not moving easily, so I'll be right back. So the Mitchell reels divorce themselves from Alright, I've returned. I've picked up a set of ratchets here. Let's see if we can find the right one to take this off. That looks good. And I need my ratchet now. So these reels are normally dependable, but this just is an example here of what happens when reels are not cared for. You just wind up in a situation where everything will rust, corrode, or bog down, and that's what's happening here. We got complete dirt here. Take that off. In this case, I'm going to pull that ball bearing out, and as many of you know who follow me, I do put my pieces and parts into a parts tray so that I can come back and grab them. And I can tell you this reel will go back into use. It will be something that we're capable of using. I can't tell you that we'll do it all on this video here, but I can tell you that at least from looking at what I'm seeing here, it does, other than total neglect, it does not appear as though the parts are worn in any particular way, but it looks like I'm going to need to soak the bearings, for example, if I can even get that bearing out there. And use a little WD-40, see if I can just loosen that up perhaps. I'm going to need a pair of pliers here to see if I can grab that again. I'm just going to use a simple channel lock pliers, grabbing it below the threads. There you go. We're able to get the top of the bearing off. So this is just everything is just frozen in place here, but nothing is nothing appears to be warped or broken to the point where it's not functional. All right, there you go. The bearing is off now. We'll go soak that. I just ran into a fella who was telling me that he soaks his bearings in brake cleaning fluid. I've never tried that. I may just try it here. We can see, and again, this is just going to be a quick one here. We are going to go repair this reel, but you can just see how everything's caked up. But I'm looking at the gears and the teeth itself. They're okay. Let's go ahead and get this one out. This would be the other bearing. And this one, quite honestly, everything is really tight on this. So before I get too excited that we will be able to clean all of this up and out, let's just see if we can't get this piece out. I think we can. I feel some movement in this. So this is an example of what you want to focus on when you get a used reel. You want to see if there's a chance that it can be repaired. Other than a lot of accumulated salt, this is a bushing, salt and the like, it appears that this will clean up and will work. So when do you give up on a reel? In my case, almost never, sometimes to a fault. Yeah, we can see all of that stuff is cleaning off here. Same thing will happen with the side plate here. When the parts are unavailable, clearly you give up on it. Something like this, it doesn't pay to repair, but this is for a friend who just said, see what you can do about it. I don't know if it was a childhood reel or his dad's reel or what the story is with that. I guess I'll find out some more when I talk to him again, give it back to him. But this is just kind of a charity case. Is that the right way to put it? It's just one that I'm just going to be working on, not for profit, just to help a friend out here. So we're going to be able to work with this reel. I'm noticing that the teeth, for the most part, are okay. They're going to need to be scraped out. I'm going to use a pick, for example, to clean the line between the teeth. We'll do some other things. All of these just have a lot of salt or dirt or something. Again, it looks like maybe it either went in the water or was laid on a mud bank or something based on what I'm seeing here. But the net on this reel is it can be repaired. I'll show it to you on another video when I get done cleaning it up. But I thought I would give you an example of the technology of the time. It's not a very complicated reel. We've seen this before with the crosswind loop on the main gear. Fits like that and rides up and down. All of this is going to have to be cleaned in order to do that. we'll free this bearing up. We'll clean it all down with a good general degreaser like a WD-40. As a matter of fact, we'll just start that process right now by spraying that down. And we'll come back to this reel, put it together, and show you that it can work. So what's the lessons learned from this? Sometimes even though reels are frozen like this one was, doesn't mean that the reel is broken necessarily. It does mean that with a lot of effort it can be restored. That's what we'll do here. What we've learned is it probably doesn't pay to restore it, to go out and have somebody who does this for a living go ahead and put it back together unless there's some real sentimental value there. The reason for that is the reel just simply isn't worth that much. But for the purposes of picking one up at a flea market that you find like this and want to try out, that would certainly work fine. It's good to see the bail is working. You know, I call them tuition reels sometimes. If I owned this one, it'd just be to get a look inside, make sure that you understand the technologies that are involved and what it takes to properly maintain them. And that's probably the last lesson learned. A reel that's properly maintained will last an awful long time, and one that's will get old before it's time. And that's what happened here. This one obviously had some kind of damage to it. Like I said, dunked or laying on the bank of the bay or that. And it can be put back together, it can be restored, and I'll show you that when the work is complete. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like it on YouTube. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and stay tuned as I frequently post these items to the YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.